Redmi Note 7 lineup is the first one branded only as Redmi, and the sub-brand company wants to come in strong. It advertises flagship-worthy build quality, great 48-megapixel main camera on the back, and powerful enough processor. The Redmi Note 7 is an embodiment of Xiaomi's philosophy when it comes to smartphones, and the Redmi phones have become the benchmark for mid-range devices. Design. The Redmi Note 7 doesn't look as sleek as some of the curvaceous competition, like the Honor 10 Lite for example. Instead, it's flat front and back interplay with a glossy plastic frame to deliver a solid slice of smartphone. It's pretty big too, with its 6.3-inch screen, but provided you're okay with the size, there's plenty to love here. With its 19.5:9 screen and water droplet notch, the Redmi Note 7 looks very 2019 from the front. All of its buttons sit along the right edge of the device, and on the left is a dual SIM tray that takes a microSD card too, if you're prepared to sacrifice one of the two SIM slots. The phone's high-gloss frame may be plastic, but it feels super solid, plus it houses a couple of nice surprises on its top edge, a headphone jack and an IR blaster. Down at its base, there's a USB-C port as well as the mono speaker, while around the back of the phone is the dual camera module and a fingerprint scanner. What's impressive about the Redmi Note 7's design is that both its front and rear use Gorilla Glass 5, which make it instantly more resistant to scratches than plastic-shelled devices, such as the Huawei P Smart 2019. More impressive still, you get a case in the box. Unlike flagships such as the Samsung Galaxy S10, the Redmi Note 7 isn't IP rated for water or dust resistance, but with it costing under $200, this is hardly a surprise. Display. The Redmi Note 7 features a 6.3-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels. With its 19.5:9 aspect ratio, this puts it on a par with the likes of the Huawei P30 Pro and the OnePlus 7 for resolution and size. What it lacks, however, is AMOLED screen technology, which means the display here doesn't quite have the punch or pop of the aforementioned handsets. It also isn't as bright as the P30 Pro or Galaxy S10 Plus at maximum brightness. Nevertheless, it's still perfectly viewable outdoors in all but direct sunlight. The screen's viewing angles are excellent, retaining both clarity and color integrity off-angle, and while the Note 7's display has a slightly cool hue to it, white balance is customizable in the settings, so you can make it look just right for your eyes. Loudspeaker. Despite having just a single bottom-firing loudspeaker, the handset impresses with a loud sound. And it sounds clean at high volumes as well. Software. The Redmi Note 7 ditches a stock Android 9 UI in favor of MIUI 10, as found on the Xiaomi Mi 9. The interface doesn't offer an apps drawer. Navigation is controlled by gestures, but you can reinstate the navigation bar. In addition, it offers a password-protected virtual second space for sensitive information. Performance. With a Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 processor, combined with 3 or 4 GB of RAM and 3264 or 128 GB of storage, the Redmi Note 7 sports mid-range power, paired with flagship comparable room for your apps and media. In my time with the device, it never felt underpowered. Even tasks such as picture-in-picture video and split-screen multitasking didn't grind the phone to a halt. This means that, for all basic tasks, the Redmi Note 7 has you covered from a performance point of view. More surprisingly, gaming is also a treat. Photo camera. The Redmi Note 7's dual rear snapper has a 48-megapixel primary camera, and a 5-megapixel depth sensor module. Matched with phase detection autofocus, the only features it's missing appears to be optical image stabilization and laser autofocus. Despite this, the quality of pictures taken on the Redmi Note 7 is seriously impressive, making it easily one of the best sub-$200 options around. In good light, detail captured by the Redmi Note 7 is superb. Even when you pinch into shots you've taken, things hold up well, contrast isn't too heavy-handed, so you still get nuances breaking through in darkest and lightest areas. Colors are sometimes a touch overzealous, and dynamic range isn't mind-blowing when HDR is turned off. Jump into the settings and you can also customize saturation and contrast levels, which is a nice touch. Not surprisingly, middling to low light environments are a big ask for the Redmi Note 7. It doesn't perform badly per se, capturing atmospheric night shots, especially in the dedicated night mode. However, it struggles in low light scenarios with bright spots. As for the 13-megapixel selfie camera, daytime shots look good, although dynamic range struggles with backlit scenes. Video is recorded at up to full HD resolution, and captures a superb level of detail, especially in good light. Battery life. The Redmi Note 7's battery life impresses. At 4000 mAh, it's at the upper end of battery capacities in current smartphones, bettered only by a handful of handsets, including the Moto G7 Power. The phone was easily able to make it through a full day of relatively intensive use. There's no wireless charging, nor would we expect there to be at the price. However, Xiaomi didn't even include a Quick Charge 4 capable charger in the box. The included brick charges the device from 0 to 30% in 30 minutes, and takes just over 2 hours to fully charge, which is pretty slow. Verdict. The Redmi Note 7 not only checks all the boxes for a great mid-range device, but it also redefines the budget meaning. We can even go ahead and say this is one of the few times we've been so excited about a mid-ranger since the original Moto G. And to be frank, it's really hard to complain about small shortcomings at this price point.